This is the story of the Rainbow Crow. It's a legend told by the Lenape tribe who originally lived in the Delaware Valley. It was so cold. Shimmering snow fell constantly, and ice formed over all the waters. The animals had never seen snow before. At first it was fun, but when the northern wind blew and it became colder, they began to worry. All the forest animals were being buried under the snowdrifts. The larger animals could hardly walk because the shimmering snow was so deep. We must send a messenger to Kijiyama, the creator, who creates by thinking what will be, said Wise Owl. We must ask him to think the world warm again so that speared snow will leave us in peace. All the forest animals were pleased with this plan. They began to decide who to send up to the creator. Wise Owl could not see well during the daylight, so he could not go. Turtle was steady and stable, but he crawled too slowly. Finally, Rainbow Crow, the most beautiful of all the birds with shimmering feathers of rainbow hues and an enchanting singing voice, was chosen to go to Kijiyama, who lived up in heaven. It was a difficult journey, 3 days up and up into heaven, past the trees and clouds, beyond the sun and the moon, and even above the stars. She was blown by the northern winds and had no place to rest, but she carried bravely on until she reached heaven. When Rainbow Crow reached the holy place, she called out to the Creator, but received no answer. Kijiyama was too busy thinking to notice even the most beautiful of birds, so the crow began to sing her most beautiful song. He was drawn from his thoughts by the lovely sound and came to see which bird was making it. He greeted his guest kindly and asked what gift he could give the noble bird in exchange for her song. She asked Kijiyama to unthink the snow so that the animals of the earth would not be buried and freeze to death. But he told her that the snow and the ice had spirits of their own and could not be destroyed. What shall we do then? We will all freeze or smother under the shimmering snow. You will not freeze, he reassured her, for I will think of fire. Something that will warm all creatures during cold times. Kijiyama stuck a stick into the blazing hot sun. The end blazed with a bright glowing flame which burned brightly and gave off heat. This is fire, he told Rainbow Crow, handing her the cool end of the stick. You must hurry to earth as fast as you can fly before the stick burns up. Rainbow Crow nodded her thanks to the Creator and flew as fast as she could go. It was a 3-day trip from heaven, and she was worried that the torch would burn out before she reached Earth or blown out by the northern wind. The stick was large and heavy, but the fire kept Rainbow Crow warm as she came down from heaven, down to the bright path of the stars. Then the flames grew hot as it came closer to her feathers. As she flew past the sun, her tail caught fire, turning the shimmering, beautiful feathers black. By the time she passed the moon, her whole body was black with soot from the hot blaze. When she plunged into the clouds and met the northern winds, the smoke got into her throat, strangling her beautiful singing voice. By the time she landed among the freezing cold animals of Earth, she was black as tar and could only caw instead of sing. She delivered the fire to all the forest animals. and they melted the snow and warmed themselves, rescuing the littlest animals from the shivering snow where they lingered. It was a time of rejoicing, for fire had come to the earth, but Rainbow Crow sat apart, saddened by her dull, ugly feathers and rasping voice. Then she felt a touch of wind on her face. She looked up and saw the wise owl, who had landed beside her. "Do not be sad," he said. "All the forest animals will honor you for the sacrifice you made for them. And when the people come, your black feathers and raspy voice will prevent man from putting you in a cage to sing for him. You will be free." Then the wise owl pointed to her black feathers. Before her eyes, the dull feathers became shiny, and inside each one, she could see all the colors of the rainbow. "This will remind everyone who sees you of the service you have been to your people," he said, "and the sacrifice you made that saved them all. And so it ever shall be." The end.